What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Pound for pound fighter, Canelo Alvarez, who sits atop of the pound for pound rankings, looks to collect another belt this Saturday when he takes on WBA light heavyweight champion Bivol. Now this will be the second time Canelo Alvarez will be fighting at 175 pounds. The last time he took on Sergey Kovalev, and in my opinion, he was losing that fight up until he got the knockout. Now he was fighting a much faded version of Sergey Kovalev. This wasn't a Sergey Kovalev, in my opinion, that fought Andre Ward in the first fight, or even the one that fought Andre Ward in the second fight, or even the Crusher that was destroying competition. You know, the Crusher that HBO was putting a lot of backing behind. It was one of their top fighters along with Triple G when they were on their European invasion of their premium network tour. Let's just say it like that. Now this matchup is very, very interesting. Canelo Alvarez is a guy that knows how to fight in big fights. This is going to be another day at the office for Canelo Alvarez. We got to see if Bivol can rise to the occasion, or will the occasion rise against him like a tide rising against a surfer that's not prepared for it. He's got to be able to ride those waves, man. He's going to be in some deep water. He's going to be in some shark-infested water. And he's going to have to swim with the sharks. He's got to show that he can swim with the sharks. He's going to have to be the big dog on the porch, and we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, I'm going to break down this fight. I'm going to give you the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. I'm going to tell you what both fighters need to do to get the win, and then I look for a very interesting matchup. The problem with this fight is there's no sizzle to this fight. Neither fighter are charismatic. I think the problem with Canelo is his English is much improved, but still limited. And when it's limited, you can't really trash talk. You can't say the things to pump the fight up. You just got to be vanilla in your comments when you're doing interviews and stuff like that. And Canelo has showed that he is charismatic when being provoked, but he's not going to be provoked by a guy that speaks little to no English. Now, I did see Bivol do some interviews on Tuesday. You know, that's the kickoff of fight week for Canelo versus Bivol, and he answered some questions, and his English has improved too. But again, he's not a trash talker. But he does sound very confident. His team sounds very confident. So it should be a very interesting matchup. This is, in my opinion, the best fighter Canelo has fought since Triple G. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But as far as Bivol goes, he must establish the jab. He must double up on the jab. He must keep the fight in the middle of the ring. Or he must back up Canelo. If Canelo is able to back him up, that's a bad sign. If you see Bivol back against the ropes, that's a bad sign. That means that he has not hit Canelo with anything to get Canelo's respect, and Canelo is coming forward, and he's going to be looking to land those vicious uppercuts and land those vicious body shots. Now, Bivol is a guy that has a beautiful left hook, and what he's going to do, he's going to have to come around the high guard of a come forward Canelo and catch him on the side of the ear, and, you know, catch him with those temple shots to make Canelo play a dear price from coming forward. You gotta make a guy we gotta make a guy pay a price. If a guy is steadily coming forward looking to get close the gap and land power shots, you got to make him pay. You gotta say it's gonna be a price that you're gonna have to pay to get close and look to land power shots against me. And that's what Bivol's gonna have to do. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a guy to take away the jab. Canelo Alvarez is a guy that knows how to take away the jab. Canelo Alvarez has mastered the pull counter, you know, anticipating the jab and then coming over the top with the right hand. And he's going to be looking to do that a la Floyd Mayweather Jr. If he's able to do that and basically take the jab away from Bivol, he's taking Bivol's main asset, main weapon away from him. And if that's the case, that's going to be the beginning of the end for Bivol. Everything is predicated off the jab for Bivol. Everything is predicated off of, for Canelo, is taking away the jab and pressing forward and backing up Bivol. I think Bivol can fight on the back foot, kind of like what Caleb Plant did. But it's just a matter of time before Canelo eventually catches up with him and breaks him down and possibly stops him. He's got to press forward. He's got to keep the fight in the middle of the ring, and he's got to back up Canelo. Now, Canelo is a guy that can fight backing up. He can fight with his back against the rope. He's got very good upper body movement. He can make you miss, and he can roll a lot of shots, and he can counter. So he's a guy that's a very versatile fighter, and he can fight and win in many more ways, in my opinion, than Bivol. Now, Bivol is a guy that fights one way, very repetitive, and I think that's the reason why Canelo and his team chose him. They probably seen a lot of his fights, and they say, okay, this guy does a lot of the same things over and over again. We solved that. We stopped that. We shut that down. He's not going to have anything else to bring to the table. And Bivol's got to show that there's more versatility to his game. Now, people in the Bivol camp say, well, he ain't had to show any versatility because he's been able to beat his opponent with plan A. But if he's forced to go to plan B, C, or D, he's more than capable of doing that. So all those questions are going to get answered Saturday night in Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City. I think this is going to be a very competitive fight. Wouldn't be a bit surprised in the first half of this fight, that means the first 6 rounds, that this fight is even or Bivol is slightly ahead. But I think as the fight goes on, Canelo is very, very patient. I think he'll slowly but surely break down Bivol. Bivol, in my opinion, don't have the power. He's got better power than Caleb Plant, but he don't have enough power, in my opinion, like a Triple G had power. And even in the second fight, Canelo walked them down. I know good damn well Bivol don't have more power than Triple G. So he's able to take Triple G shots, and in the second fight, walk down a power punch in Triple G. He's going to be able to do that with Bivol. And I think slowly but surely he's going to break him down. He's going to start getting them up against the ropes. He's going to start landing that uppercut. He's going to start landing shots as Bivol covers up, shots to the body, shots around the high guard. And I think eventually he's going to break down Dimitri Bivol and possibly stop him late. Maybe get us decision win, maybe a unanimous decision. I'm looking somewhere around 7 rounds to 5. I don't think it'll be 9-3, some whitewash, some clear victory. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. Some people are going to say, man, this fight should have been a draw. Or maybe this fight should have been Bivol's way, very close. But I just think the second half of the fight, the championship rounds, Canelo Alvarez is going to show his mettle, and I think he's going to make the necessary adjustments. Again, to me, he's the more versatile fighter, and I think he's got more tools in the toolbox. And I believe that's the case until proven otherwise. You know, Bivol will have to show me that he's got more tools in the toolbox than he showed in all his 17 fights. I think he's, 17-0? Something like that. And he's been in there with some good opponents. Now, he's beat Joe Smith. That's his best win. He's beat John Pascal. He's beat some good fighters. You know, it's not like this guy ain't fought nobody. But he ain't had near the resume that Canelo Alvarez has had. He's been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's been in the ring with Sergey Kovalev. He's fought Miguel Cotto. He's fought Triple G twice. He's fought Austin Trout. He's fought Yolanda Lara. You know, he's fought Sugar Shane Mosley. He's fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which wasn't much of a win, but the guy had a famous last name, and the guy was a champion. But at that time, he was weight drained, and he was not a focused fighter, and was not a committed fighter. But you got to give credit where credit's due. He dominated him from start to finish. And he's beat some big names in the sport of boxing. Here recently, he's beat Callum Smith. He's beaten Billy Joe Saunders. You know, he's beaten Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs, that was one of his better wins. That's one of his better wins. I put that win right up there with the Austin Trout win and probably the Yolanda Lara win, as controversial as that win was. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Speaking of the Lara fight and the Trout fight, it's not like this guy ain't been in no close fights, but those fights been such a long time ago, and in my opinion, he's improved so much since then. It'll just be nice to see him in a competitive fight and him having to maybe dig deep to pull out a victory. We ain't really had to see him have to do that in probably his last 6-7 fights. He's been able to make the adjustment and then dominate fights. Even the Daniel Jacobs fight, which was close, once he kind of figured out Jacobs, and once he knew that Jacobs was not really going to be the offensive-minded fighter, he kind of fought the fight that he wanted to fight, and he was able to outpoint Daniel Jacobs. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts on who you like in this particular matchup. I like Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. I almost stops him late, but I think Bivol survives the onslaught. I think Bivol really wants to shine in this moment. This is the biggest moment of his career. He's been dying for a big name. He's been dying for a big fight. And I don't think he's going to let Canelo stop him, but I think Canelo wins a unanimous decision by the judges. But I think the score is going to be very close. I got it 115-113 for Canelo, 7 rounds to 5. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know who you like in this particular matchup. If you like Canelo by stoppage or you like Bivol by stoppage, let me know the round in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter, JBsports 3303. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.